Hey there, I am Shanna Warwick from BlckBts, and I am making this video for Dark Sum's Love You to Death virtual event, and I am going to start by showing you some of the wearable pieces that I made. And I'm going to actually start with this scarf right here. I'm calling this the Metamorphosis scarf. It is super, super long. It's like Lenny Kravitz long, and can be worn and styled a bunch of different ways, of course. So I ice dyed the silk organza, so that's where you get all of that kind of like watercolory color to it. And then the black is my signature felted merino wool into it. Now, organza has a bit more of an architectural sort of feel to it, so it's gonna kind of sit a little bit, just like a little up, like up a little bit more, if that makes any sense. It's not gonna like drape quite the same as like the silk chiffon does. And I love pieces like this because they can be that bigger, more dramatic kind of statement. You can wrap this around a bazillion ways and kind of pin it. It just has those dreads on the one side, so it can be like super drama. And the dreads are a beautiful purple color. And again, this is the Metamorphosis scarf with silk organza and merino wool. I would even wear this kind of just as like a little wrap. You could probably even stick it kind of in your belt and kind of have it that way. And you could flip it over if you want to have more of the purpley kind of color showing. So there's that piece. All right, I'm going to try on the next one, which is my Loved You to Death dress. I did a version of this last year that had a sleeve and a higher collar and in a different size. This one is in a size, it'll fit size medium to extra large. I am an extra large lady. I've got all the curves. So I'm going to show you what this looks like on my body. And again, this is ice dyed, so that's where you get all that watercolory sort of color to it. And it has the one sleeve, and then this is just open. See the back. And I would totally wear this with the dress that I have on. You could also go ahead, I'll put a belt over a belt, and belt this and kind of have it so you have a little bit more of the waist. I love these pieces because I get to be super comfortable when I'm wearing it. You know, I'm wearing either like a long sort of maxi length dress underneath it, or I'm wearing like tights and just like a little tank. The wool itself comes down to a point, so it's got that flattering kind of like neckline, or the silhouette, I guess that would be. And yeah, you can kind of style it. I would even do, if you want your arms covered, I would do either like a little black like 3/4 length t-shirt under it, or do like some little mesh, like a little mesh sleeve. And of course you would wear your best Martha Rotten jewelry because she's the greatest. And I'm going to show you the next piece. Ooh. Let me just show you some of this dye work up close so you can just see the colors. Hello. And let's try on this bolero, shall we? I tried to get my background perfect and it's not perfect. That's okay. All right. So of course I have 3,000 things in my hair. So definitely more of like a deeper pink with this dye color versus the dye on the dress. And this one has that little sort of pops collar to it. So it's got a higher collar. And then it just comes down. It's really super dramatic. If you're not as tall, so this hits probably like mid-calf for me. If you're not as tall, you can take a little bit of the length off of this, but I think it'll be just a more dramatic look if you're not as tall as I am. And your hands and arms are still free. So it's got that going on. I'm actually going to keep this on for a second while I show you another piece. Here's some of that dye work that I know you love. I'm going to bring the dress form over for this one. So this is the same style as the other dress. It's just in a smaller size. So this is going to fit more like my smalls to mediums. It would also fit an extra small if you are more, if you don't mind having kind of this extra weight, especially if you're a little bit taller. If you're super, if you're tiny and kind of short, this may not be the dress for you. I don't want it to overwhelm your body type. But if you are a little bit taller and an extra small, I think that this would still work. I'm going to pull it back a little bit so you can see. It's not super, super long. With these pieces in the smaller size, if they're like super long, they just tend to kind of overwhelm. So I make them a little bit shorter so they kind of work for a couple different body styles. It's open on the side, same on the back here. Right, and I will have, in addition to these pieces, I'm going to have one more piece that I'm finishing up today when I'm recording this video. And I'm going to pause this here, and then we're going to add the second part of the video, which is all going to be my home decor, my little needle felted things. So I'm going to pause this for a second, and I'll be right back. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot to show you this skirt. Okay, so this skirt is the last piece in the wearables. It's got a high waist. It's going to fit an extra small to a small. I'm going to take the measurements in a moment. It hits, depending on how tall you are, kind of like right sort of a little bit below the knee. And the fabric up top is my signature black on black. It's silk organza and the merino wool. And then it's lined with a nice soft kind of jersey that has a little bit of a stretch to it. And then all of the detail on the bottom, this is all hand sculpted and hand sewn tulle. So it's all these little pieces of tulle that have been worked around that skirt and sewn into place with some of the fabric kind of going in between. So it's got a lot of dimension, a lot of just shape to it. It's got a back zipper right here, so it's easy to get on and off. It is one of my more expensive pieces, just in terms of the amount of work and time that went into this piece, but I think you're gonna love it. I'm excited for you to see it. Let's just do a couple measurements so you can kind of see where we're at. So this waist right here is about 28 and a half. And from the waist to about the longest part is going to be about 28 with a little bit of variation on the bottom. So it's going to be kind of where it hits. And yeah, super excited about this piece. Can't wait for you to see it, check it out, and yeah, let's move on to some home good pieces. All right, so I'm going to start with these little tiny needle felted anatomical hearts in the cutest little jar. Let's see, I'm going to open this up so you can see the detail. Ooh, okay. Careful. There's a little heart. They've got gold threads, some little teeny tiny beads, some red beading. It's on the front and on the back. They're just like the most adorable things. Each of them will be numbered, dated, and signed. Got that on the back, so you'll know which one you're getting. And yeah, they're just like the most adorable things. I've been working a lot with sort of like heart opening and like heart chakra kind of thing. So if you're into that sort of more like energetic intentions, this is all about these. Plus they're just like perfect to give to your little sweetheart. And I just made one of these because, y'all, I can't help myself. This is like the dumbest looking little kitty. He's got little needle felted whiskers. He's black and white. He's like a little tuxedo kitty. My friend said that tuxedo kitties are always ready to go to prom. And he's sitting on some grassy moss. And of course, he has a wee little tiny butthole. So I will just have one of these available because I just can't help myself. These things are so dumb, so silly, so great. And it has a butthole. All right. So it'll just be one of those, but there'll be a couple of the anatomical hearts in the jars. Okay, so these are the pieces that go on the wall. And I made quite a few of these, so I'm going to kind of go through them sort of fast. All one of a kind, slightly different. They're all framed with this these lichen branches, ready to hang. And they're needle felted and have the same kind of detail as the jar pieces. So let me just go through them. Woo! Here's another one. This one has my signature fabric in the background, so you can kind of see through it a little bit. Same with this little beauty. And you know, up against the wall, you don't see quite as much, but you can hang that in the window or, you know, have it on a darker background, and then some more of that, those details will kind of pop. Two more. This one is I made this one with some tools, so it's a little bit different. Just one of these. It's got all these little details. This has more of like a depth to it. I like this one. And then the last one, a little bit bigger. This is my cracking open. Let me just put, so you can see all of that gold sort of thread in there. It's a little bit hard to see on camera, but it's all that gold thread, which is cracking open. I thought initially it was kind of be like the heart was breaking, but then after I looked at it, I was like, no, it's not breaking. It's cracking open. So that is that piece. And again, just so you can see the scale. All right, so those are the pieces that I will have in my update. In addition, I have one more wearable piece. I'm going to kind of keep that a secret for right now. But thank you so much for Darksome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching and for supporting these businesses. I'm a one-woman show, and I won't be here without you. Right there. You. All right, y'all. Shanna Work from BlckBts. I will talk to you soon.